back to the basics. I'm your host, Shake and Vape 007, along with Folk Art and Black Mamba. What's going on? Today we got a nice show for you today. Black Mamba is going to discuss some apple flavors. We have a nice recipe that we're going to mix up today that he created.
Yep.
So if you guys enjoy our content, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the Cruise channel for up-and-coming events and content. If you guys have any questions in the audience, make sure you tag us at B2B or at DMC or DIY Mixers Crew, and we will get that.
Yep.
Also, for you new mixers out there, make sure you take advantage of our discount codes at liquidbarn.com. Use code Mixers Crew and get 15% off your total order. You get free shipping over $50. And honestly, let me stand up here for a second. I'm going to go grab it. I just got this in today, guys. I think I ordered this Saturday or Sunday. And for you guys out there that are new mixers, Liquid Barn, their nicotine, look at the way it's packaged. Yep. Fucking phenomenal. It just came in today. I re-upped on two 500 mil, 100 milligram PG-based nicotine from them guys. Ordered this Saturday, guys. Saturday night. They're in California. I live in Pittsburgh. Already here. Awesome.
Yep.
So make sure you take advantage of that discount code. Also, check out bullcityflavors.com. Use code DMC6. Get 6% off your total order. Make sure you hit that like button, guys. So what have we got today, Black Mamba? So you've been doing some apple testing this week. So let's talk a little bit about that.
I think
first off,
I
hey,
think
what's up? How's it going?
Yeah, I think he has an apple recipe ready to
go. Well, we can talk about it. We'll keep everybody in suspense.
Okay. All right.
We'll mix that shit later on. Because I'm looking at the percentages right now, and my mouth is watering, guys. So this is for you guys to stay like keep watching till the end of the show. We're gonna mix this shit up. But you've been doing a lot of testing. You said that you had a little bit of homework for yourself, which is excellent. And you said that you were going to do some work with some apples. So tell us a little bit about some of the apples that you've been working with this past week.
So the one apple that I was working with for the past week was I believe it was Cap's Double Apple. And the reason why I was working with that one was really that was the only apple that I had at the moment. I single flavor tested it and it tasted really well. I got kind of like a sweet and kind of like, like the red crunchy apple taste to it. So I really thought that it would be a really good flavor to work with in the recipe that we're going to be talking about later. But now that I'm back from vacation, I have 2 more apple flavors from Flavora, and they are Flavora's Granny Smith and Flavora's Red Apple. So I can't wait to pop those open and flavor test those, see how they are. Trying to brighten my horizon on apples.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good apples out there to choose from, and every one of them is just a little bit different. That double apple that you were talking about to me almost tastes like the inside of a golden delicious apple. It's got sweetness. It's not as strong as some of the other apples, I don't think. But it's apples are useful in a lot of different recipes. You can bend them. You can use them for sweetness. A lot of different things. Apple's very versatile. Most of them are anyway.
Yeah, that's what I loved about Cap's Double Apple. It like you said, you get the sweetness of the golden apple, but I also got kind of like that crunchy taste of a red apple.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has some texture to it.
Yeah,
sure. For sure. So I tested a few apples. Did you say that you had Flavora Granny Smith?
Yes, sir, I do.
Do you? Pop the cap on that if it's close by, and just give it a smell.
Okay. Yeah, on Granny Smith, yeah, that is like par with a Granny Smith apple. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Just smell. Smelling them like that, or the back of the hand test is a pretty good indicator of what something's gonna vape like. But it can fool you at sometimes.
Yeah, I
But
have had that with flavors. I have
yeah,
had, a flavor smells good and the one drop on the back of the hand tastes good, and then as soon as you put it inside of your mind and you take a rip off of it, you're just like, what is this?
yeah,
This
exactly.
this is not what I expected.
The Granny Smith to me tastes like a Granny Smith apple, only with maybe a little bit of apple blossom in it too. So it has a slight. Now I mixed up at 2%, which may be a little bit high, but it has a little bit of a floral taste to it, which is not bad. It's just some recipes that's what you need. You need a little bit of that apple blossom in it too. It's pretty tart. I would think that it would probably be better in some type of a apple candy or something like that, not necessarily for a bakery.
Yeah, I was looking for mine. I got lost in my flavors. I turned my camera off to get up to see if I can find my Granny Smith apple. I can't find it anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while since I used it, but yeah, it's a decent flavor. Do you have Black Mamba? Let me ask you this: do you have Flavor Arts Fuji apple by chance?
I do not. That is a flavor that is on my next order list at the moment. Um, that flavor will be ordered on Friday, actually.
Okay. TFA is not bad as well. TFA apple, it's also decent flavor in my book. But Fuji apple, talking about what Folk Art was talking about a few minutes ago, was that sometimes that smell test can be off-putting with flavor concentrates. Um, Fuji apple is dynamite off the smell. It's a wonderful flavor, but for me personally, like I said, everybody's palate is different when they're working with concentrates. Um, Single flavor testing it like right off the scale, in my opinion, I actually get like a chemical, like how would you say it, like pesticide, like outer peel type uh, flavor from it. But if it steeps for a while, it's just phenomenal. It's tremendous.
I think the Fuji apple is more like the whole apple. I mean, it's the skin, it's the inner sweetness,
Mm-hmm.
it's everything. Maybe even a little bit of stem in there too.
Yeah.
But I definitely get the skin of the apple in it.
So new mixers out there. If you're looking for a decent apple to really utilize in some of your recipe creations, Fuji apple from Flavor Art is a staple. It works well with a lot of in a lot of recipes. Now, speaking of apples, Black Mamba, I don't know what your thoughts are as how dominant that apple would be. Now, there are certain things that you can do in mixing to kind of get that apple to kind of stick out more. So, say like with an apple, maybe you could use a couple drops of lemon, you know, incorporated with the apple to kind of bring out that vibrancy to the apple, or maybe some, you know, kiwi or some other fruit, to kind of couple with that to kind of make that apple more dominant in your mix. What do you think, Folkart, about that?
Yeah, I mean, apple. That's what I was talking about. Apple is so versatile. You can use it in a lot of different mixes. I like using FA pear with not with Fuji apple, but with Capella double apple. It seems to give it not a lot, maybe 0.5% on the FA pear, and then about 2%, maybe 3% on the Cap double apple. It seems to give it a more rounded apple feel to it. There's a lot of pairings with apples and other fruits, apples and cranberries. Although there's not a lot of good cranberries out there, but yeah, it's pretty versatile flavoring for sure.
Cranberry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Lewis was in the chat. He was saying that INW and apple. Yes, it is a very great apple to use. There's a lot. I mean, honestly, I think that's one of the flavors that's pretty decent out there. I mean, you see a lot of renditions of a lot of fruits out there that sometimes can be hard to work with. But I think apple is one that's pretty easy. You could pair it with a lot of flavors out there, like even what Folkart said with apple, and like maybe throw some pear in there, or apple and maybe a couple drops of lemon to bring it out a little bit more. You can pair it well with just about anything, maybe dragon fruit or like that. Anything works for it.
You can pair it with like bananas. You can pair it with one thing that I like pairing it with to make this other flavoring better is watermelon.
Yes.
To give it that watermelon, that crispness that some of the watermelons don't have. It seems to give it a deeper texture to it. So there's a lot of different things you can use with use apple with.
Yes.
Have y'all tried the Flavora apple, just regular apple?
I don't know if I have that one. Like I said, I was looking at my flavors. I'm actually in a process. I had to add another shelf, so I got like a shit ton of flavor sitting on one of my desks. But the one as far as what I picked out, as far as the Flavora, the only ones that I grabbed real quick was the apple filling, which I really enjoy from Flavora. I really like that flavor. The red apple, apple pop, and the sour apple. Those are the four that I grabbed from Flavora. I do have I think 3 or 4 different other apples in my arsenal, and
well, as far as like profiles for apples, the first thing that pops in my mind for an apple is an apple pie. That's the first thing that pops into my mind, or an apple turnover or something like that. What?
Cinnamon.
Yeah. Apples and cinnamon.
Apples go really well together. Apples and
exactly. And I think that I just tested this out not too many days ago. This Flavora apple, this regular apple. I think it has a wonderful cooked apple flavor to it. Now, it doesn't have any cinnamon in it, just like cooked down apples. I think it would make a hell of an apple pie.
Like a puree, almost like a canned apple, I think not Libby's makes the pumpkin stuff, but what is it? Lucky, I think, makes like a canned apple. Is it like more of like a puree? I don't think.
This one isn't like applesauce. No, it's not like cooked applesauce. It's more like just quartered apples, and then you just bake them, or pan fry them in a pan or something, maybe with some butter or something. But this it just tastes like a cooked apple, and all you would have to add to this to make it a really good, awesome apple pie would be some type of cinnamon Danish, or something like that. Maybe throw in a little bit of maybe cap vanilla custard, just a little bit, and bam, you got you an apple pie.
So Black Mamba, what? So as far as your Mott, Yeah, digital gram. So as far as your apple, when you were single flavor testing a lot of those apples, what kind of stuck out to you as a new mixer when you were flavor testing those? Was you getting any type of chemical alcohol type taste, or was you getting just like more of a authentic type of apple, candied apple, anything like that on some of the flavors that you were single flavor testing?
Are you talking to me?
No, I was talking to Black Mamba,
Oh,
but hey, I
okay.
think there was two of them he didn't flavor test. If we want to, how about we taste those right now? You able to mix or no, Black Mamba? I don't know if he's smiling. What's going?
I don't think he can hear us.
I don't think he can hear us. There's might be something wrong with his phones or something like that. I don't know if he's muted.
I don't know.
So, two apples, yes. Digital gram, two apples is great. It's an awesome flavor.
I don't think he can hear us.
Yeah, there might be something wrong with his audio.
Yeah. Well, since he can't respond, let's bring up his recipe and tear it apart. I said, let's bring up his recipe and tear it apart. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, sure. Nah, yeah. You gonna mix this up, folk art?
I do not have the wait a minute. I do have all of this.
I can mix this. I thought you were trying to be a snake, man, and not trying to mix this up on me, man.
No.
I don't want to break open my new nicotine because I think but I will mix it. I just have to grab all the concentrates. It's going to take me a second. I just don't want to hinder. I currently can't talk, Rafa. I got you, bro. Okay, cool. It's all right, Black Mamba. We'll do some flavor testing on those live as soon as Black Mamba's able to come up. But
I've got some mixed up here. I can do some flavor testing right quick.
Sure. Let's get some thoughts on some of your apples that you got. And if you guys have any questions in the audience in the chat, feel free to tag us and we will answer those on what some of the homework that Black Mamba was doing last week on his apple.
Yeah. Sub Vapes has a question. Have you tried Inaware 2 apples? I have not tried that. Sorry. Have you, David?
That is one that I do not have, which is sad. That's every DIYer's reoccurring nightmare.
Yeah. 5,000 flavorings and you're missing one.
Every recipe, every single recipe that I mix, I'm always missing one.
Okay, so
God's honest truth.
So here's a flavoring that I really enjoy.
Oh yes, Eden apple.
Mullenberry Eden apple.
Ooh, I love that one.
Yeah, let's vape this up and see what we got here.
It reminds me of Flavor Arts. It can here's the thing, when you talk, you'll hear a lot of mixers ask for you new mixers out there. You'll hear a lot of mixers say, "Hey, can I sub this? Can I sub that?" 9 times out of 10, no, you really can't sub it. But it's one of those flavors that it's not as pungent as Flavor Arts Fuji apple, but it can be kind of subbed out, in my opinion, for Fuji apple, Eden apple. It's really good. It doesn't really have that outer peel dominant, you know what I mean? But it's a really nice tart apple, in my opinion. I really enjoy it.
So I mixed this up at 2%. I don't know if that's recommended or not. I just kind of guessed at it. But what I'm getting from it is the inside of a Golden Delicious, but with some pear in there. Do you taste any pear? Like a pear flavoring as well?
A little bit. I do get the fleshiness from it. I do get any tartness. I get tartness from it. I like not tartness. I would say a sour tart. it's not more. I see that apple more as like a borderline green type apple, like a cross between green and red, like a Fuji, like a cross between like a green and red apple. Not so much Granny Smith and not so much just like a Red Delicious, but it's in between like a Fuji.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said I think that it can be utilized as like a substitute for flavor art, a Fuji apple. But Fuji apple is readily available, so I mean it's not like everybody around the world that mixes. Like there's some parts of the world where people can't source certain apples. You know what I mean? But it's an excellent flavor in my opinion. You know, I really enjoy it. Mm-hmm. So how we come in there with the extracurricular activities there, Black Mamba? We almost done with that there, buddy? Okay. All right, cool beans. You know, never mind. Never mind.
Okay,
Never mind.
so here is one of the flavorings that I actually use quite often. One of the recipes that I've come up with really when I first started was for my brother who tried e-liquid called Green Breaker. You ever heard of it?
No, I have not.
Okay, it's kind of an obscure company, but we went to a vape shop. I mean a vape convention, and me and my brother went, and he just loved this e-liquid. I hate it. I really hate it. Because it's just overly sweet, and it's like the profile is a green apple jawbreaker, and but after we left the convention, he wanted me to try to make some, and this is one of my very first recipes. It's not public; it's still private, but I actually use it quite a bit. L.A. green apple.
Okay.
And there's probably a lot of people going to say, "Ooh, that tastes like shit." Well, it to me it tastes like a perfect flavoring for a Jolly Rancher green apple. It's
like a candy type apple.
Yeah, it's a candy apple, not a candied apple, but you know, it's got a nice candy apple flavor. And
so we got two questions here in the audience. For single flavor testing a one shot, folk art, would you recommend doing the percentage so that they add up to the recommended percentage? That way you can end up vaping what's left over.
I don't understand the question.
I don't either. I understand it the first part, but the second part I did not. It was by Kitus.
Yeah.
Single flavor one shot, would you recommend doing the percentage so that, yes, Kitus, if somebody's doing a one shot and the recommended percentage is, say, we'll round it off to 10%. If somebody is doing a one shot and the recommended percentage is a 10%, for the one shot, that would be the recommended percentage where that recipe is going to be excellent on what the creator wanted you to taste it at. Now, that's not saying that you cannot use that one shot in another recipe creation, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Say if somebody's doing, now that we're on apples, say if somebody has a one shot that's an apple pie, okay, and their recommended percentage is 10%, you mix it up and you vape it, it's delicious, okay? And say, for instance, that, you know, I really enjoy this one shot, but, you know, I feel that maybe the crust can be more dominant in this recipe or whatnot. You can maybe take that one shot and maybe adjust the percentage to your liking, say maybe at like an 8%, and maybe try to build more of a crust onto that and kind of use it as a flavor concentrate and kind of build on that to kind of get it to where you really enjoy it as an all-day vape, if that makes sense. Hopefully that answered your question.
Okay, I think what he's saying is like when you get a bottle of, say, like rose milk.
Okay.
And it says mix it at, I think it's like 15%, and you're mixing that in a 30 or maybe you're making 60 mils, and then you get down to the bottom of that rose milk bottle, and you're still wanting to make a 60 mil, but you only have just a tiny bit left, that's what was left over. I think that's what he's talking about. I would just say mix a smaller batch,
Correct.
Yeah.
What honestly, what I would do is I would mix up, take that whatever you have left over and weigh it. Drip it into an empty bottle. If you're mixing by weight, Titus, drip it into a bottle. Like hit your tar button, and then drip it in there. See how much it weighs, and say for instance it comes out to like 1 gram or whatever's left over. Now go into like ATF or whatever, and try to match it to where you're going to be able to make that recipe with just utilizing 1 gram left of that concentrate to kind of get the maximum volume out of that. Like if that kind of makes sense. So, like, you know what I mean? So if you have like say 1 gram and you have to do 10%, you might be able to make like 20. You might have like 20 mils that you can be able to mix left out of that bottle. Or you could just throw it into something else. If you really enjoy that flavor, try to mix it with something else. We also have another question from Sub Vapes. He asked, so here's a question. He says, what mix would you make a fresh, green, crisp apple? So if you want just like a fresh, crisp green apple and that's it, what I'm assuming, Folkart, what would you utilize in that?
Well, depending on the profile, I suppose the Flavora Granny Smith would be a fairly decent place to start. Maybe use it at a pretty low percentage with FA Fuji apple.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, always utilized together. Go ahead, Black Mamba.
Well, I'm back. First off,
you're back.
Second off, I would say Flavora's green apple and Fuji apple. If you're looking for like an actual like crisp green apple, I'd go with a green apple and a Fuji apple.
Yeah. But probably have the Fuji as the higher percentage.
Yeah.
Than the green apple. Yeah. Yep. That's a good place to start.
So you get that crispness from the Fuji apple, and then you get that sour tanginess from the green apple.
Yeah, exactly.
Continue. So not only we lost you there for a second, you wasn't able to get your feed going. You want to do some live single flavor testing on, maybe give some of the new guys out there, being that you're a novice mixer, give them some of your notes on your thoughts on what you think about some of the apples. Are you able to mix or no? Would that be too difficult for you?
Currently, at the moment, I'm not able to mix, but I did single flavor test while I was sitting here waiting. I did single flavor test Granny Smith and Red Apple from Flavora.
Okay. Give us your thoughts, man.
In Granny Smith, it tastes like a mix between like a red apple and a green apple. You get kind of like that sourness, and you get kind of like that bitterness of the green apple, and then inside of the red apple, you get kind of like that crispness. So it would be like a good mix for the both of the two. It tastes pretty much like a Granny Smith apple. So you get like that crisp, like kind of sour but kind of sweet taste to it, and it tastes really ripe of an apple.
What percentage did you mix it up at?
I mix it at 5%.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
And then on Red Apple, Red Apple to me, it kind of tastes like a little bit chemically. So I might need to drop that down to at least like 2.5 or maybe even 2%. Because sometimes when you do single flavor test flavors and you do mix them at too high of a percentage, it is too much flavoring. So Red Apple, you can kind of taste the red apple skin inside of it, and kind of like the crispness of a red apple. But like I said, I think that I had it at too high of a percentage. So.
And what percentage did you mix it up at? 5.
That was at 5 as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Some of these apples can be pretty strong. I generally start around 2%, and then I can kind of tell if it's too low. You know, I'll write in my notes. Well, this probably needs to be used around maybe 3%, or this needs to be used at around 1%. So yeah, because for me personally, a lot of flavorings that I use at pretty low percentages. I've seldom use any flavoring, 4 or 5%, but in some recipes you have to with certain profiles, I know. But I generally single flavor test mine anywhere from depending on the company too, around 2 to 4%, something like that.
Yeah.
But this red apple from Flavora, I haven't single flavor tested it, but it smells like it's got a lot of apple peel in it.
Mm-hmm.
Does it? Do you think that it has that apple peel?
Yeah, it has a lot of the apple, like the actual skin of the apple itself.
Yeah. Good deal.
And the flesh is kind of like a back note inside of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, good deal, man.
Well, that's the thing too. Like for a lot of the new mixers out there, depending on how many concentrates that you're going to be using or utilizing in a recipe, that's really going to be the deciding factor on what percentage you're going to be using in a recipe. So here's the thing. So if you're doing, say, like a single flavor all the way, you can go like just to vape it by itself, like a solo, you can go a higher percentage. Now, if you're doing, say, like a 2 or 3 flavor recipe, then your percentages are obviously going to be higher, because that's going to be the body of your top note to your recipe, and it's just going to encompass that, like what we talked about last week, Black Mamba, where we did the banana recipe.
Yeah.
You kind of had like that 3-stage type, your toppings, your main profile, your recipe, and kind of like the bottom of the recipe, like a 3-parter. But if you're going to be doing, like, say, a 2 recipe type of with the concentrates, you're going to utilize those flavors higher in a recipe to kind of, well, it also depends on what manufacturer. But don't be scared, though, for you new mixers out there, don't be scared to really push the limits of a certain concentrate. They have their thresholds. Use Flavor West banana, for instance. I mean, you can really push that banana up to, I know I'm talking about banana, but, we're talking about apple, but you can push that banana so far, and then it starts kind of like taking on like a candy aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing with concentrates. You have to look at it as, when you're using them at a lower percentage in the recipe, you might be picking out subtle notes, like the banana, for instance, like maybe that cream aspect of it, or that outer peel aspect of it, that you're just trying to pick out of that. But once you start really pushing it to like a medium percentage in a recipe, you're getting more of the flesh of the banana. And then if you push it further, it's going to start taking on a candy aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're doing like a 2-flavor simple mix, you might want to use Flavor West banana, say at like a 4 to 6% range. You know what I mean? To where you're getting that banana, but it's kind of like borderline runts. You know what I mean? But then you can maybe add like a simple cream to it, just to do like a bananas and cream. It all depends on how you want to create the recipe. You know what I mean? And that's what makes single flavor testing very important.
Absolutely.
Or you could add like a simple strawberry to it and make like a strawberry and banana.
Correct. Yes, you could do that.
Yeah.
Or the strawberry banana apple, whatever. Mix two fruits. You could do a banana apple, whatever, or apple watermelon,
Mm-hmm.
or watermelon, banana, watermelon, whatever you want to do.
You can also use apple to like blend different fruits. It's a good blender that helps blend two different fruits together. You can also use it as just kind of like almost like a sweetener. Some of the apples to add just a little bit of freshness and a little bit of sweetness to it. Right. So they're very, very versatile. Very versatile. I don't use them enough, actually.
Yes, I think that's one thing about in the fruits that we have in our arsenal as mixers. I think that apple is one of the more versatile concentrates that we have that we can utilize in a lot of recipes and that goes into more of like a bending or, transforming it, a fruit into something else, or to highlight it, or to whatever. Apple, I think, is very, very important in mixing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, David, have you tried the shisha apple from Inawera? I have not.
No, but here's the thing, and not to get off topic or anything like that. I do ramble. Sorry, guys. But here's the thing about shishas. Shishas are actually for hookahs. That's what shishas are. I see people saying, "Oh, shisha strawberry, shisha apple, shisha this, shisha that." Shishas were actually made for hookahs. Yep. They are to be mixed with tobaccos, but in DIY mixing, we do utilize them in a lot of recipes. Now, just kind of put that in the back of your mind is that, shishas, tobaccos, a lot of those shisha flavors out there, whether it be a fruit, well, most of them are fruits. Mix them with tobaccos. I'm telling you guys.
That's what they're made for.
Mix them with tobaccos. You will be surprised. I'm telling you. That's what they're made for. But they are good. Shisha strawberry is one of my favorite strawberries out on the market right now.
Good deal.
So, folk art.
Yes.
Recipe.
You want to bring up Black Mama's recipe?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Let's take a look at this thing here.
So for you guys, while he's pulling that up, thanks for all you guys tuning in today. Thanks for all the questions. I see a lot of faces in there. Darwis is in there. Kitus is in there. What's up? DIY Down Under. I'm assuming that is Pippa's new.
I think so, yeah.
Pippa? Did she change her Facebook page?
She created a new one, I believe.
Oh, she did? Okay.
DIY Down Under. Go check it out.
Yeah, check out the Facebook page, DIY Down Under. Check them guys out. Digital Graham, always nice to see you in the chat, brother.
Yep.
Sub Vapes, what's going on?
So I've got Black Mama's recipe up here. He's been busy making apple recipe. So could you tell us a little bit about this particular profile? What kind of profile were you going after?
So the actual profile that I was going after, I was actually going after like a kind of like an apple. I want to say kind of like an apple pie, maybe apple pie donut, or apple pie cinnamon roll, something like that. Mm-hmm. That's why I wound up using the graham crust and the graham cracker clear. Mm-hmm. I think that the recipe can use some revamping, in my honest opinion.
Okay.
So, I mean, the recipe, it tastes fine. I love it. It's just that I don't know.
So tell me what are the notes that you're getting when you vape this? Is it pretty heavy on the graham cracker?
It's not really heavy on the graham cracker. It's kind of like a mix between the graham cracker and the doughiness of the cinnamon roll from Real Flavors that I used. I wound up going with caramel from Capella. The reason why I went with caramel was because, I love apples and caramel. Like, I can use caramel on my apple pie, caramel on my apple donut, caramel on practically anything.
Yeah,
dealing with apple. So that's the reason why I went with caramel. But No, it's not really a strong graham cracker taste to it.
Okay. All right. You said that you think that it needs to be tweaked. What are you getting that you think that needs to be corrected or tweaked?
I think that I need to get an actual like donut flavor and actually take out real flavors, cinnamon roll, and put in like an actual donut flavor to make it like more of an actual donut. Because that's what I'm really like leaning towards rather than a cinnamon roll. I'm really leaning towards the apple pie donut.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know if you guys have ever had the Krispy Kreme apple pie donut, but that thing is phenomenal.
So that's what you were going for. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're going for more of a fried Krispy Kreme type of donut, I would suggest picking up Zappola. It's a phenomenal fried donut flavor that you're going to get out of that. Now, it's Flavor Arts, by the way. Flavor Arts Zappola. It is phenomenal, but you probably can utilize that maybe at the low end. I would say like 2 to 2.5%. You could probably go all the way up to like 4.5% with that on Zappola's from Flavor Art.
Okay.
If you utilize that and get rid of the cheesecake graham cracker crust and the graham cracker clear, you're golden in there. You can drizzle it with the caramel, throw that Caps double apple in there, and put that pear in there to kind of brighten up the double apple. Yes, I could see it right now. Now there are a few other donut concentrate flavors out on the market. But to me, honestly, they're kind of like Play-Doh.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You can build a better donut than the donut flavors that are out there.
Yeah,
and
yeah, go ahead.
I don't think that I will be getting rid of the graham cracker clear and the graham crust. The reason why is that the actual donut that I'm going for actually has a little bit of graham cracker on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. Then if that's what you're going for, then you could probably keep that in there, the graham cracker to kind of give it that. But you're going to be surprised when you taste that Zappola, the doughiness, the spiciness that you kind of get out of it. You're going to be surprised. That would be one of the flavors that, honestly, that I would actually order. You are truly going to love that. Now, what's funny here is that to me, Capella's funnel cake is very similar to Zappola, in my opinion. It's so similar, but Capella's funnel cake has more of a powdered sugar sweetness to it. It's a little bit. It's kind of like comparing just a regular sweetener to Capella's super sweet. It just has more of an inherent sweetener to it, but it's very close. It kind of gives you that spicy fried dough taste to it. You're really going to enjoy it. I'm telling you. Just order it. You know, if you want to put a touch of graham cracker in there, that's fine. You know,
there is one thing that I see in here, and I think it's pretty important to tell our listeners about this. This is something that I learned by actually taking one of Wayne Walker's classes, his 202 class. That's where me and David met, and Lewis and Russell. And he taught something that was called consolidation. And what that means is that once you have your recipe and you think you got your percentages right and everything, go through that and look and see if you have similar flavorings that you could possibly just use one instead of both of them. So, in other words, if you had a recipe that had 3 different creams in it, you know, can you take out one of those creams without hurting the entirety of the recipe? Or substitute one cream for all 3 of those. You know, that's called consolidation. And with your recipe here, I'm seeing the TPA cheesecake graham crust, and I'm also seeing the TPA graham cracker clear, and both of those are pretty heavy on the graham cracker. So this is just my opinion now. I haven't mixed this up. I don't know what it tastes like, but the consolidation part, it's almost like you could probably just get away with using one of those instead of having to use both of them. And that's just one thing that I've learned is to try to use as few flavors as you can to still get the same results, because you'll see that if you start using more of similar flavors, that your recipe starts to become kind of muddied and not bright. So just keep that in mind.
Okay, see, that makes sense.
And to add to what Folkart was saying, and the reason being is because they share the same chemical compounds in both of them. Like the TPA cheesecake graham crust has a decent amount of acetylpyrazine in it already, and when you break it down chemically, those two, they share that same chemical compound, and it's going to kind of like what Folkart said, it's kind of going to muddy up the recipe a little bit, where you could probably consolidate and use that one. So as far as that graham cracker taste that you want, me, honestly, I would probably keep the TPA and get rid of the TPA graham cracker clear. I mean, even though I like both of them, but you're going to get with the cheesecake graham crust, like we talked about last week, and I think the week before, you don't get that much cheesecake from it, but you get a really nice graham cracker from it. I really enjoy that graham cracker flavor from it. Now with the graham cracker clear, I get like kind of like inherent sweetness, but that's just my palate. I kind of get more of a sweet graham type taste to it. But if you want like that nice, like kind of like powdery, like texture Grammy type taste, I get more of that from like TPA graham cracker. So that's what I was using. If you want to like throw that in there with like this Apollo or something like that. I mean, I'm not saying that the Capella, what is it, the donut they have? I have both of them. I glazed donut, and I think they have a chocolate.
The chocolate glazed donut is probably the best one.
Yeah, they both taste like fucking Play-Doh. I mean, they're not bad.
Yeah. Every donut that I've tried has that Play-Doh like taste.
But
I think it's so much easier just to build your own. I personally use Wonder Flavors cinnamon. What is it? Cinnamon pastry.
Yeah, you've used that a lot.
And then use a little bit of Flavor West yellow cake in it. It's a donut.
Yes,
it's a donut.
Yes, it is. Depending on what percentage, though, yellow cake. Yeah. If you push that yellow cake, you do get yellow cake.
Yeah, but exactly.
The donut, like when you utilize yellow cake, it does give that nice cakey texture to. But keep in mind, though, Flavor West does have a lot of sweetener in it, though, and it'll fuck up your coils. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's still a good flavor. Now, like what Folkart was saying, though, Black Mamba, if you want more of a cakey donut. I don't know if that's what you're after. If you're going for more of a cakey donut, yes, Flavor West, is the way to go. But if you're going for more of like a fried pastry type donut, Zapolo is the way to go, because you get that more of like greasy kind of spicy type fried donut from it. Like in my opinion, like I mean, between the two,
Zapolo's
it depends.
Good.
At the end of the day, it depends on what type of donut you're going after. Because you got, like, that's the thing. Like, if you go to Dunkin' Donuts, you get a nice fried donut with chocolate glaze. That's Zapala. But if you go with, like, the old school, like, chocolate frosted donut, or, like, a chocolate donut with, like, glaze on it, like a cake donut, Flavor West is the way to go.
Okay.
Cake's the way to go. Yeah, that's the way to go. You have a cake.
Well, I have a question. This is totally off topic.
That's okay.
So, it's for Folkart. I know that you're very big in the mixing game, so
I am.
Is it okay if I give you some homework this week?
Oh, okay. All right. I'm game. I'm game. The teacher becomes the student.
So I have one of my favorite e-liquids, and I haven't gotten the concentrates to mix it up yet. And do you have any yogurt concentrates?
I do.
You do? Do you have any vanillas?
I do.
And what about granola?
I do.
You do?
Well,
Okay, good.
I could probably build a granola. Yeah.
So one of my favorite e-liquids. It was a premium e-liquid, and it had recently came out, like right before I had stopped working at the last vape shop that I was working at. It was made by Ohm e-liquid,
Let's look this up. I'm gonna look this up while you're writing this down. Folk,
and it's the uh the e-liquid profile was called New York, New York.
Okay.
Right? The profile was a rich and creamy vanilla yogurt parfait with granola topping.
A parfait. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wow. Yeah. You're not asking for much, are you?
I don't. Trust me, I kind of gave Steam some a little bit of homework also. So he's been working on it for a little bit.
Okay,
Speaking of
so
Steam,
so you've vaped this before,
Yes,
and as a commercial juice, how would you rate it? Is it a good juice?
I used to buy them in 120 mils, and I used to down those bottles within a couple hours.
Okay, so
Okay,
it's a vanilla parfait.
this
Okay, can you increase the
this is
size
it.
on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, geez, not that big.
New York, New York.
Is this it right here, Black Mamba?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. If I order this, so you're asking me to try to make a clone of this? Is that what you're asking? Or
Yeah.
or you just want me to make a profile that's similar? Because there's
Make a clone of it.
there's a
If you want me
difference.
if you want me to, I'll buy a bottle myself and I'll send it to you,
Game
just so
on.
you can try the flavor.
Game on, man. Game on. Yeah.
Like honestly, though, have you tried the Flavora granola, folk art?
I have not yet.
Very good flavor.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming that's probably not what's going to be in this recipe. But it's a very decent granola. You could probably build your own though. But for an easy way out, you could probably utilize that vanilla. That'd be the easy part, and it's just to get the yogurt, depending on what type of yogurt they're using.
Mm-hmm.
If they're using a Greek yogurt, or if they're using kind of like a
creamy yogurt.
more of a creamy yogurt in there, yeah. But I guarantee you, it's probably not both. I'm actually going to order this too, just to see what it tastes like. You know what I mean? See what it's all about.
Well, I can try. That's all I can do. We'll see how it goes.
Now there's
Country Fair. No, the Big Easy. Never mind. I'm thinking of that one that you were working on. That
now the Big Easy. I think it was a deep fried donut with powdered sugar on top of it.
Have you enjoyed that one? Have you tried that one?
Yeah, that one was pretty good. Now County Fair is a raspberry Italian ice.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really hard for me to do any type of like ice or slushy or something like that, because you really can't recreate that ice part. I mean, you can put menthol or Coolada or MS-23 or Polar Blast, whatever. It still doesn't exactly get you there.
What's the price on this shit? I'm not saying it. Log in for price. Fuck that. I'm not going through all that shit. I'm gonna stop screen share. But anyhow, yeah, cool.
Oh, if you want a bottle as well, I'll order you a bottle as well.
Dude, don't worry about it, bro. I got it. So what's with you and Steam, dude? I seen you kicking ass and taking names on his show. Or I should say you guys' show, or your, like everybody's show that you guys got. You guys have been doing pretty good over there.
Yeah, we got a lot of things in wraps coming up here pretty soon. I don't want to go too far into detail on anything because I don't know if I have
that's
the
fine.
permission from him to do
cool,
it.
Dude. You're
That's
all
fine.
good. But I seen you do a little review on one of the Sigelis. Real quick before we get out of here, what was that you were talking about? That was the Sigeli.
The Sigeli Top One.
Yeah, that's what it was. You
Yeah,
were talking about the touchscreen, or so it didn't have a touchscreen or something like that.
Yeah. I was pretty like kind of angry that it didn't have a touchscreen, because it does have the gauge feel to it, and it has a big screen on it that looks exactly like a gauge on a car. So I thought that it would be pretty cool if like they had like a wattage setting where you can turn up the gauge.
Okay.
But I didn't see that on the website that I had looked up the mod on.
What was the well, not the cheapest, but what was the everyday low, or what was like the average price on one of them suckers?
Average price, I think they were starting off at I want to say like 65 or 70.
Ain't bad. I really enjoyed Shigeli products. Some of their newer, I didn't see that one personally, the one that you reviewed. But some of the newer Fuchai type models that they have out, like even I think they have a Squonk out now. Like it really didn't appease to me. I really like their older stuff, in my opinion. I didn't see their stuff yet. So, but they crank shit out like crazy, dude. Which one's that?
I have one of those.
Yeah,
that's the original 100 plus.
Yeah,
I got it. I got a fucking 150 TC.
The only thing that I have to do on this one is every once in a while I have to clean the contacts inside the battery sled.
All right, guys. All right, Play-Doh is the bomb. Who said that in the chat?
I think that.
Come on, Ross.
They don't like Play-Doh.
Come on, Ross. JFM in the house. What's up, dude? How you doing?
Hey.
I think that here in my house at the moment I have maybe 12 Sigelis.
Wow.
How would you something the granola, David? What? I didn't get that, Graham. Sorry. Something builder granola. Oh, yeah. Bill. I don't know how long ago that question was, but yeah, dude. Flavor granola is pretty spot on in my opinion. I really enjoy it. I actually utilize that in one of the recipes. It does have that oaty aspect to it, kind of like that. It kind of does have texture in it. It as an all-around flavor. It goes back to what I was talking about. It's one of those flavors that's real. How would you say it? Linear? No, like it's kind of like it encompasses a lot in that flavor. It's not like a straightforward flavor. It has a lot of.
So it's not linear.
Yes, it's not linear. It has a lot of like different textures in it, to where you kind of get like a little bit of everything in it. And that was one of the things that I talked about when we did Sunday's show with the blueberry muffin. It's one of those flavors where it works well to where it's kind of like a dual, like a double-edged sword, where you can kind of build off of both ends of it. Mm-hmm. And I really enjoy it once you use it. Honey roasted nuts, cranberry frosting.
I do not like Wonder Flavors roasted peanuts. Is that what you're talking about? Honey roasted peanuts?
No, it was Russell in the chat. It's use it at like super low percentage though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Once you get really high on it, does taste like red skin peanuts. But if you did it like low percentage, like 1% and below, you do get those honey notes. Like I get like a honey sweet note to it, and just a little bit of the outer peel of the peanut. We're kind of like rambling now, but anyhow, if you guys have any questions, yeah, we could talk on the after show.
Now, I don't know if I'll have that recipe ready by next Wednesday, but I'll do my best, Black Mama.
Okay, take your time.
Don't let him.
I'll be contacting you on Friday with your for your address and everything to be sending you the.
That's
flavor.
all right. I'll go ahead and I'll pick up a bottle.
Hey, Dude, Black Mamba, don't let him fool you, dude. He's like fucking Satan, dude. He'll have that shit out tomorrow.
I know, right?
He'll have like 5,000 views on ATF by tomorrow. It's already out. Like it's already out on ATF. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Like, it's already done.
Yeah, I've been working on the yogurt granola for like 2 months now already. So it's ready to release now.
Folkart sold his soul to the devil, man. He reads the future. He already got that shit down already.
I'm gonna wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. Like,
it's done. It's done. He already has a one shot created. It's on sale at ECX. You can go to ECX, pick it up tomorrow.
Yeah.
But anyhow, guys, great show today. Great job today with your apple that you were doing. Yeah, tweak it a little bit, man. Like I said, pick up if you're looking for more of a donut. You could probably try to build it yourself a little bit. We could talk a little bit offline about that. But yeah, excellent work on that. Make sure you pick up Zapala if you want. Even throw the Capella's donut. They have that, and what was the other one, Folkart? The other donut from Capella.
The other donut, the only one that I kind of like is the chocolate glazed donut, but
chocolate glazed
that probably wouldn't work in that.
No. But yeah, if you depending on what you want, Black Mamba, you can utilize the Flavor West, the cake, yellow cake. Use that in there if you want more of a cakey donut, or if you want more of a fried donut, you can probably utilize the Capella's, or I'm sorry, the Flavor Arts Zapala. Either one of those. But other than that, that's all I got. Folkart, if you have anything, or Black Mamba, if you have anything, if there's any questions in the audience, make sure you tag us right now before we get out of here. Wonder Flavor glazed donut. I'm not telling you.
It's pretty good. Wonder Flavor's glazed donut's pretty good. I haven't tried that. Yeah,
it's not bad. What percentage would you recommend that at, Folkart?
Is that a super concentrate?
I don't know.
I don't believe it is.
I don't have it.
3%.
I would say around 3 to 4%. I mean, you could probably take it up higher than that. They say anywhere from 8 to 12% on their website on their non super concentrate flavors.
Yeah, that's okay. That's non super concentrate.
Yeah, but the super concentrates is like from 2 to 4.
Kind of said 3-ish.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
All right, guys. Is that it? Is that our show?
That's it, man.
Are we done?
Yeah, sure. Hey, if you guys want to hop in the Zoom room, you up for Zoom room tonight, Folkart? Or are we out?
I can for a little bit.
Okay. Hey, we'll post a link. So if you new mixers are out there and you want to join us in a Zoom room, we have a Zoom room that's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Usually when we do our live shows, guys, we pop in the Zoom room and we get a chance to meet Folkart, the greatest mixer of all time.
God damn.
Me.
The GOAT.
Maybe Lewis, the Portuguese ninja. He might pop in for a couple minutes. Pop in, ask us any questions. We'll be in there. But other than that, that's all I got today. Folkart, that's all you got, buddy?
That's it, I believe. Check out DMC Live this Sunday. I don't know what. I don't know what. Oh, I do know what we're going to talk about.
We're going
to talk about milk.
Milk.
Yeah.
Come on, brother.
I got all the concentrates in for all of the recipes that people submitted. I'll be mixing those up, probably starting tomorrow. So I'll try to get all those mixed up so we can showcase them on our show.
Yes, and Juiced. Black Mamba, you are the star of Juiced. Tell us a little bit about that show and what time it is on before we get out of here.
So tonight, not tonight, Sunday nights, Juice comes on at 7:30 at night. You'll have me, Steam himself, and Labworks Vapes. We might be adding somebody new onto the channel. We don't know if we're actually going to be doing the channel or doing the live feed this weekend because of Super Bowl Sunday and things like that. So, yeah, but
yeah, Super Bowl, whatever.
Yeah, no, I'm not watching
more important. Mixing's more important than Super Bowl.
I watch one sports event on my TV once a year, and that's the Super Bowl, and only for the commercials.
Extreme ping pong. That's what you do. Extreme ping pong. All right, guys. All right. Hey, make sure you tune into us next week, live next Wednesday. Make sure you check us out. If you enjoyed our content that we provide, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to our channels, guys. Make sure you check us out on Facebook and Discord. Those links are posted in the chat and as well as the comments. Make sure you check that out. Subscribe to our channel. Thanks for stopping out today. Have a good evening. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
All right, everybody. Have a great night.